Chosen one, stop asking God for more money. I know that sounds like the exact opposite of everything you came here to hear. I know that the reason you opened this video is because there is a gap between where you are financially right now and where you know you are supposed to be. I know the prayer you have been praying. I know the number you have been writing down in your journal and holding in your imagination. I know the frustration of watching people around you seem to receive breakthroughs while you are still in the waiting room, wondering what is taking so long. But here is what heaven needs you to understand before this video goes 1 second further. You are not in the waiting room. You are in the examination room. And those are not the same place. The waiting room is passive. You sit, you hope, you wonder when your name gets called. The examination room is active. You are being watched, assessed, evaluated, and tested on a specific set of criteria that will determine whether you can be trusted with what you have been asking for. And right now, at this exact moment in your financial life, God is not withholding from you. God is examining you. He is watching how you handle what is already in your hands before He places something significantly larger in them. He is watching how you manage $100 before He hands you $1 million. And what He finds in that examination is going to determine everything about what happens next. Welcome to Chosen Wealth Wisdom. The Chosen One does not just receive wealth. The Chosen One qualifies for it. Before we go any further, here is what I need you to do right now. If you have ever felt a gap between the financial life you are living and the financial life you know God designed you for, if you have ever had the quiet, unshakable sense that more is coming, but you cannot quite figure out why it has not arrived yet, type the words test passed in the comments right now. Not because you have finished the test, but because you are declaring in advance that you are going to. Drop it in the comments right now. And if you are not yet part of the Chosen Wealth Wisdom family, subscribe before you go any further, because what I am releasing in this season is specifically calibrated for the ones who are ready to stop praying for bigger numbers and start building bigger capacity. You are here for a reason. Stay with me. Now let us go inside the examination room. Chosen one, in the last 3 days, you faced a financial decision that made you hesitate. Not a catastrophic choice, not a life-altering crossroads, a smaller moment than that, but one that carried a specific weight. On one side of the decision was immediate satisfaction, something you wanted, something that would have felt good in the moment and been forgotten within a week. On the other side was something strategic, an investment of some kind of money, of time, of discipline, of delayed gratification. A choice that would not feel rewarding right now, but would compound into something significant later. And you paused. You stood at that fork in the road and felt the pull of both directions. And something in you recognized that the choice was bigger than it appeared. That this was not just a financial decision, this was a character decision. This was the moment the recording angel stopped writing other things and waited specifically to see which direction you would move. That hesitation, you felt that pause, that tightness, that sense of weight on what appeared to be a minor choice was not overthinking. That was spiritual awareness. That was your discernment, recognizing that you were being observed, that the stakes were higher than the dollar amount suggested, and that the pattern of this moment would echo forward into far larger moments that were already approaching. God does not test chosen ones with dramatic, obvious trials when it comes to financial wisdom. He tests them in the small, quiet, unremarkable decisions where no one is watching and no one would ever know the difference. Because the person who is faithful in small things in private is the same person who will be faithful in great things in public. And the person who justifies compromise when the amount seems insignificant will justify the same compromise when the amount has more zeros. You are not delayed, you are being qualified, and the qualification process is more advanced than you realize. Now let me give you the foundation for everything I am about to say, because inspiration without a word is just emotion, and emotion without a foundation is just noise. There is a Hebrew word that will change the entire framework of how you relate to money, to financial decisions, and to the testing process you are currently in. The word is bina, spelled B-I-N-A-H. And it is one of the most powerful words in the entire Hebrew wisdom tradition. Bina is not simply knowledge. Knowledge is the accumulation of information. Bina is something that goes several levels deeper. Bina is the capacity for understanding that allows you to look at complexity and perceive structure within it. To look at chaos and see the pattern underneath. To look at a number, a balance, a budget line, a financial statement, and see not just what is there, but what it means, what it connects to, what it is moving toward, and what it is hiding. In the ancient wisdom tradition, Bina is described as the faculty that distinguishes between things that appear similar but are fundamentally different. It is discernment at the architectural level. It is the ability to look at two options that feel roughly equivalent on the surface and perceive the profound difference between them before the consequences of choosing become visible to everyone else. It is seeing the end of the road from the beginning of the decision. Here is the philosophy that chosen wealth wisdom is built on, and I want you to receive this as a framework for your entire financial life going forward. The chosen one does not look at money through ordinary eyes. The chosen one looks at money through Bina, and through Bina, you do not see dollars and cents. You see energy, you see movement, you see directionality. You see whether a financial decision is moving you toward your assignment or away from it. Whether it is planting or spending, whether it is building or consuming, whether it aligns with the economy of heaven or with the anxiety of the world. And here is the statement I need you to hold in your spirit for the rest of this video. If you cannot master the energy of lack, you will be crushed by the energy of abundance. This is the test most people never understand they are in. Most people assume that the challenge of financial life is not having enough. But the deeper challenge, the one that chosen ones face at the threshold of their breakthrough, is developing the internal structure to handle having plenty. Because abundance amplifies character. Whatever you are when you have little, you become more of when you have much. The person who is undisciplined with $100 becomes catastrophically undisciplined with 100,000. The person who is faithful with 100 becomes effortlessly faithful with 1,000,000. God is not building your bank account right now. He is building your Bina. He is expanding your capacity to handle what is coming. And the examination you are in right now is the proof that He takes your financial destiny seriously enough to prepare you properly for it. Now let me show you what heaven has been watching, and I want to be specific enough that you feel the precision of this. The court of heaven has been conducting what I can only describe as a forensic audit of your financial nistar, your hidden financial self, not the budget you show people, not the financial image you project. The actual, private, unperformed way you relate to money when no audience exists and no reputation is at stake. And what it found reveals something about your readiness that you may not have fully recognized in yourself. The first thing it found was how you handle found money. There was a moment recently, within the last few weeks, when money arrived in a way you did not entirely earn or expect. A tax refund that came in slightly higher than anticipated. A small overpayment returned to you. A bill that turned out less than expected, leaving you with a modest, unexpected surplus. A few dollars discovered in a coat pocket or an old account you had forgotten about. The amount was not life-changing. It was ordinary. The kind of money most people treat as permission to spend freely because it feels like it does not count. And the question heaven was watching you answer was not simply, what will you do with this money? The question was deeper than that. The question was, what does the way you handle this money reveal about what you actually believe about the source? Because here is what most people miss about found money and unexpected surplus. The way you treat it is a direct reflection of your theology about provision. If you treat it carelessly, spending it impulsively and without intention, because it feels like a bonus rather than a stewardship responsibility. You are communicating to heaven that you view financial blessings as rewards to be consumed rather than seeds to be planted. But if you handle it with the same intentionality and care that you give to money you worked hard for, you are demonstrating something profoundly different. You are showing that you understand that the source of the provision does not change the weight of the responsibility, that a dollar from unexpected blessing carries the same stewardship obligation as a dollar from earned income, that every financial resource that passes through your hands is an opportunity to demonstrate the character of someone who can be trusted with more. How you handle found money is a window directly into your financial soul, and heaven has been looking through that window carefully. The second thing it found was your integrity of discipline when no one is watching. There have been moments in the recent past, maybe daily, maybe several times a week, when the people around you were making financial decisions driven by impulse, by social pressure, by the quiet anxiety of wanting to appear successful or generous, or unaffected by financial limitation. People in your circle spending in ways that do not align with where they say they want to be. And while that was happening around you, you were doing something different in private. You were planning, you were budgeting, you were making deliberate, disciplined, intentional decisions about your resources without anyone there to validate the choice or applaud the restraint. You were choosing strategy over appearance, future over present, destiny over ego, without supervision, without recognition, without anyone knowing the discipline was happening at all. Stop. Think about what that actually is. That is the behavior of a kingdom treasurer. That is the character of someone who has been entrusted with the financial resources of something larger than their own life. A kingdom treasurer does not require external accountability to operate with integrity. They carry their standard internally. They are faithful to the assignment because they understand the weight of the assignment, not because someone is watching closely enough to catch a mistake. That is who you have been becoming in the hidden place. And God has been watching every quiet session of private discipline with the same attention He gives to the most visible moments of public ministry. He is not looking for the most talented financial mind. He is looking for the most trustworthy one. And trustworthiness is built exactly the way you have been building it, one unglamorous private decision at a time, in the dark, without an audience, without applause, simply because it is right. The third thing, and I want to give you a specific image for this one that I need you to carry long after this video ends, is this. The reason the tests have been intensifying is not a sign that you are losing ground. It is a sign that you are approaching a threshold. Think about how water moves through a pipe system. When water travels through a large, wide pipe, there is no particular pressure. The flow is comfortable, unremarkable, easy. But when that same water approaches a narrowing, when the pipe tightens before it connects to something new and larger on the other side, the pressure increases dramatically. The water accelerates. The force builds. And at the point of maximum pressure, just before the breakthrough into the wider space, the intensity is at its absolute highest. You are at the narrowing right now. The tests feel more concentrated, more specific, more personally calibrated than anything you have faced before, because you are at the threshold of the next level. The pressure you are feeling is not the sign of something going wrong. It is the physical sensation of approaching something that requires a higher degree of qualification than where you currently stand. And the chosen one who understands this does not panic at the pressure. The chosen one leans into it, because they know what is waiting on the other side of the narrowing. The tightness is the transition. The intensity is the invitation. God is not testing you because He doubts you. He is testing you because He is about to trust you with something He needs to be certain you can hold. If this is landing somewhere in your spirit right now that feels like the specific, precise truth you have been needing to hear, drop a fire in the comments right now. I want to identify who is in this room at the level this message was designed to reach. Drop it right now. I am watching in real time. Now let me give you the 5 specific signs that God is testing your financial wisdom right now. These are not vague spiritual impressions. These are identifiable, specific, daily life situations that chosen ones encounter during an active financial testing season. Watch for each one and recognize it for what it is, not an obstacle, but an examination. The first sign is the impulse buy trap. In the last several days, you have been encountering unusually persistent invitations to spend. An advertisement that followed you across every platform for something you want but do not need. A sale notification. A limited time offer. A social trigger seeing someone else purchase something that suddenly made you feel like you needed it too. These are not random marketing exposures. They are tests of self-discipline, arriving in the form that self-discipline tests always arrive in, wrapped in legitimacy, timed perfectly, and offering enough justification that giving in would feel entirely reasonable. The test is this: can you distinguish between a want and a need with enough clarity and consistency to act on that distinction even when the want is loud and the justification is readily available? Because the chosen one who is about to be entrusted with significant financial resources must be able to make that distinction automatically, without struggle, without internal negotiation, without needing to talk themselves into doing the right thing. The discipline must be built into the architecture of their decision-making before the amounts get large enough that the cost of failure is catastrophic. Every time you feel the pull of impulse and choose strategy instead, you are passing this test. Every single time. The recording angel notes it every time. The second sign is the delayed refund. There is a financial resource that belongs to you legitimately, rightfully yours, that has not yet arrived. A payment you are owed. A refund being processed. A reimbursement that has been confirmed but not yet deposited. An opportunity you qualified for that has not yet materialized. And the wait has been longer than expected. Long enough to create a specific, low-level, persistent frustration that sits at the edge of your awareness and whispers that something might be wrong, that maybe it is not coming, that perhaps you need to take matters into your own hands and force the resolution. That whisper is the test, because the quality of character that qualifies a person for kingdom-level financial stewardship includes the ability to trust the timing of God without substituting their own impatient timeline. It includes the capacity to hold peace in the gap between confirmed and received. It includes the discipline to not treat a delay as a denial, to not interpret slow arrival as no arrival, to not let the waiting period erode the faith that was fully intact at the moment of the promise. The refund is coming, the payment is real, the resource belongs to you, but the test is whether you can hold that truth with open hands and steady peace while the divine timing runs its full course, or whether you will spend the waiting period in an anxiety that communicates more trust in circumstances than in the God who governs them. The third sign is the small stewardship check. You have been encountering small numerical discrepancies in your financial life, a bill that does not look quite right, a charge you do not fully recognize, a statement where something is slightly off from what you expected, a receipt that does not match the agreement. Small enough that most people wave it away, not worth the time, not worth the energy, not significant enough to pursue. This is the test of whether you are a person who is meticulous with small things. Because the principle that governs kingdom financial responsibility is clear and non-negotiable. The one who is faithful with little is the one who will be made ruler over much. God is watching whether you pay attention to the small details of your financial life with the same rigor and intention that you want to bring to the large ones. Because the habits you form around small amounts are the habits you will carry into large amounts. A person who is careless with $5 will be careless with 50,000, not out of malice, but out of the ingrained pattern of treating small things as insignificant. Pay attention to the small things, not from anxiety, not from a spirit of poverty that obsesses over every cent out of fear, but from the stewardship consciousness of someone who understands that every number in their financial life represents a resource entrusted to them, and that the trustworthiness of a steward is revealed most clearly in how they handle what appears to be beneath their attention. The fourth sign is the call to sow when you feel you cannot afford to. In the last few weeks, you have felt a specific, identifiable prompting, not a general inspiration about generosity, but a targeted impulse toward a specific person or situation. A prompting to give, to help, to invest something financial into someone else's need, precisely when your own financial situation felt tight, when your own account was not where you wanted it to be, when the rational, calculating part of your mind generated every reason why this was not the right time, and the amount in question was money you could not easily spare. And the question at the center of that moment was this: do you operate from scarcity or from abundance? Not abundance as a description of your current account balance, but abundance as a fundamental orientation toward life, the deeply held, spiritually rooted belief that you are in relationship with a God whose supply is unlimited, whose timing is perfect, and who has never once failed to replenish what was given in obedience to his prompting. The person who gives from that place, who sows into someone else's need, even when their own need is present, is the person who has passed the abundance mindset test at the highest level. Because it is easy to be generous when you have excess. The test is whether you can be generous when generosity requires genuine faith. This is the sign that God is watching your theology in action rather than just in declaration. The fifth sign is the Boaz observation. You have recently been placed in proximity to financial success that is not yet yours. A person of significant means entered your life or your awareness. An opportunity appeared that was real, but not quite within your reach. A room opened up, literally or figuratively, that gave you a view of a level of wealth or influence that you are moving toward, but have not yet arrived at. And the question heaven was watching you answer was not, "Are you qualified for this?" The question was, what happens in your spirit when you see it? Do you feel envy, that specific, corrosive emotion that says, "That should be mine," and the fact that it is theirs is evidence of some injustice? Do you feel discouragement, the deflation that comes from measuring the distance between where you are and where they are, and concluding that the gap is insurmountable? Or do you feel something different, a quiet, grounded, student-like respect? The disposition of someone who looks at another person's success and asks, "What did they understand that I am still learning? What decision did they make that I have not yet made? What discipline do they carry that I am in the process of building?" The Boaz observation test is about whether you can be in the presence of what you desire without being destabilized by it. Because the chosen one, who is about to enter a new financial level, will be surrounded by people who are already there. And they must be able to receive from those people, learn from those people, and honor the wisdom in those people without the noise of envy interfering with the signal of instruction. Honor what you observe. Learn from what you see. The proximity was not an accident, it was curriculum. Now I need to speak directly about the warfare that is operating against you during this testing season, and I want to spend real time here because this is where most chosen ones lose ground. They should never have surrendered. The enemy has a very specific strategy for chosen ones in the middle of a financial examination, and it is not what most people expect. It is not a dramatic temptation. It is not an obvious attack. It is something far more subtle and far more dangerous. He wants to move you from a posture of stewardship into a posture of hoarding. He wants to take the legitimate, healthy awareness of your financial situation and slowly weaponize it into a fear so consuming that it shuts down your generosity, distorts your discernment, and causes you to grip your resources so tightly that nothing can flow in or out. And I want to show you exactly what this looks like in Scripture, because Jesus told this story with a precision that should stop every chosen one in their tracks. In Matthew 25, a master entrusted 3 servants with different amounts of money before going on a journey. The first servant received 5 talents and doubled it. The second received 2 talents and doubled it. But the third servant, the one who received 1 talent, did something that the master called wicked and slothful. He went and dug a hole in the ground and buried what he had been given. He hid it. He protected it. He kept it perfectly safe. And when the master returned, the third servant presented the talent back with what he thought was a reasonable explanation. "I was afraid," he said. "I knew you were a demanding man, so I hid your money to keep it safe." The master's response was not sympathy, it was fury. Because here is what the parable of the talents reveals about the economy of heaven that most people miss entirely. Hoarding is not safety. Hoarding is disobedience dressed as caution. The servant did not lose the talent. He did not steal it. He did not waste it on impulse purchases or careless decisions. He simply held it still out of fear. And God called that wicked. Because money that does not move does not multiply. Generosity that does not flow does not grow. A steward who grips what they have been given out of anxiety rather than investing it in faith is not being responsible, they are being faithless. They are communicating that they trust their ability to protect the resource more than they trust God's ability to multiply it. The enemy knows this principle, and his strategy is to make the third servant's logic sound so reasonable, so prudent, so financially responsible that you adopt it without realizing you have just buried your talent. He will come to you with worry about the economy, about inflation, about uncertainty, about the gap between where you are and where you need to be. And every piece of that worry will feel completely justified, because the circumstances are real, the pressures are real, the uncertainty is real. But the response that fear produces, the closing of the fist, the halting of the flow, the paralysis of a spirit that is supposed to be moving in faith, that response is the one thing that will guarantee the outcome you are most afraid of. The weapon against this is what I call sacred discernment. The clear-eyed, spiritually grounded, Bina-informed ability to distinguish between wisdom and fear, between prudent stewardship and anxious hoarding, between healthy financial awareness and the spirit of poverty that disguises itself as responsibility. Sacred discernment asks, am I making this decision from faith or from fear? Am I holding this resource because God has told me to steward it wisely, or am I gripping it because I do not trust the source to replenish what I release? Am I the first servant who invests and multiplies, or am I the third servant who buries and justifies? And the declaration that keeps sacred discernment active in your life is this: money is my servant. I am not its slave. I operate by the economy of heaven, not by the anxiety of the world. I make financial decisions from faith, not from fear. And the God who has provided in every season I have ever walked through is the same God who is governing this one. Say that and mean it, not as a formula, as a conviction that has been formed in the examination room by the pressure of the tests you have already passed. We have now arrived at the final and most sacred portion of this message, and I want you to do something before I take you into the activation. I want you to stop completely, not just in your listening, in your whole body. Put down whatever else you are holding. Settle into wherever you are sitting. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. Let the noise of everything you still need to do today move to the very back of your awareness. Take one slow breath, a real one, from the bottom of your lungs. And in this moment of genuine stillness, in this specific pause between the instruction and the declaration, I want you to feel the weight of what you have walked through during this testing season, not with frustration, not with impatience, but with the quiet recognition that everything the tests revealed about you, every private act of faithfulness that no one witnessed, Every moment of Bina that operated in you, when the easy choice was right in front of you, all of it is being held by heaven as evidence of your readiness. The court has reviewed the record. The testimony of your Nistar has been presented. And now it is time for the decree. In the next 24 hours, you are going to see a specific numerical confirmation. The numbers 1212 or 444 will appear in your financial life on a receipt, a statement, a timestamp on a transaction, an account balance, a notification, somewhere in the numerical landscape of your day. When you see it, your spirit will not be confused by it. Your spirit will recognize it with the specific, clean, unmistakable recognition that does not require analysis. That is the seal. That is heaven confirming in the language of numbers that the examination is drawing to its close, and the verdict has already been written by the choices you made when no one was watching. When you see it, I want you to respond with this specific act of intentional alignment. Place your hand on your temple on the side of your head where Bina lives, where discernment operates, where God has been building the architecture of your financial wisdom throughout this entire season. Hold it there. Feel the weight of what has been deposited in you, the understanding that did not exist in you a year ago, the clarity that came from the tests, the discernment that was forged in the hidden place. Then move your hand to your wallet or your phone, to wherever you carry the symbols of your financial life. And say these words out loud, slowly, with the full weight of everything you have received today behind every single word. I receive the financial wisdom of heaven. I pass every test of stewardship with integrity and faith. I am a faithful treasurer of the kingdom. I manage little with faithfulness, so I am trusted with much. Money is my servant, and I am the servant of God. I will not bury my talent out of fear. I will invest it in faith. The flow of prosperity is activated in my life right now. Bina is my vision. Stewardship is my testimony, and the abundance of heaven is my inheritance. Say it a second time, slower than the first. Let the first declaration open the door, and let the second one walk all the way through it. Let these words move from your lips into your lungs, from your lungs into your conviction, from your conviction into the bones of how you make financial decisions from this day forward, until this is not something you are saying, but something you are standing on. Receive this prophetic decree over your financial life right now. I declare that the Bina of heaven is now the lens through which every financial decision in your life passes. Every number you encounter, every option you are presented with, every fork in the financial road you reach, the Bina of God will illuminate the difference between what appears equal and what is profoundly distinct. You will see what others cannot see. You will understand what the surface does not show. You will make decisions that look unremarkable in the moment and produce results that look miraculous 6 months later. Not because of natural talent, because of the Bina that was deposited in you during a season of testing that most people would have walked away from. I declare that the fog of financial confusion is permanently dissolved. Every decision you have been circling, every choice that has felt unnecessarily heavy, every moment of paralysis that kept you stalled, at the same question, the Bina of God is cutting through all of it right now with the kind of precision that does not waste a single move. The path is clear. The next step is visible. The sequence is in order. I declare that the spirit of the third servant, the spirit of fear, of hoarding, of burying the talent to keep it safe, is completely uprooted from your financial life as of this moment. You are not the third servant. You are the first. You are the one who received, invested, and doubled. You are the one the master returns to and says, "Well done. You have been faithful with little. I will make you ruler over much." Enter into the joy of your Lord. I declare that every test you have passed in private, every impulse you did not act on, every patience you maintained when the delay was long and frustrating, every small detail you attended to when attention seemed unnecessary, every seed you planted when your own account was not where you wanted it, every moment of honor you chose over envy, when you were in the presence of what you have not yet received. Every single one of those private victories is being recorded, tallied, and translated directly into the public harvest that is now approaching your life. I declare that you are being promoted from the category of one who asks for financial blessings into the category of one who is entrusted with them. This is not a minor transition. This is the difference between a recipient and a steward. A recipient receives and consumes. A steward receives and multiplies. And the God of heaven never runs out of resources to pour through the hands of a steward who has proven they can be trusted with what flows through them without letting it stick to their heart. I declare that the Solomon anointing of financial wisdom is fully active over your mind right now. The decisions you make in the next 30 days will carry a clarity and an accuracy that surprises even you. The investments, the strategies, the disciplines, the choices, they will align with a precision that cannot be explained by natural intelligence alone, because they are being informed by the Bina of heaven, poured into a mind that has been proven faithful in the fire of examination. I declare that the harvest season is not approaching, it is confirmed. The examination has produced the evidence. The private record has been reviewed. The testimony of your nistar, your hidden self, your private financial character, the person you are when no audience exists and no recognition is coming, that testimony has been presented before the court of heaven, and the verdict is this: faithful, trustworthy, ready. The season of testing is giving way to the season of trusting, and the season of trusting is the season when the treasurer is handed the keys. Chosen one, you came here today asking why the large financial breakthrough had not yet arrived. And now you have the real answer. Not because something was wrong with you, not because you were overlooked or forgotten or somehow disqualified by your past, but because the God who designed your financial destiny cares too much about it and about you to release something you are not yet equipped to steward. He has been building the Bina. He has been testing the integrity. He has been watching the private decisions, the quiet disciplines, the unremarkable moments of faithfulness that no one else sees but that form the actual substance of who you are as a financial steward. And what he has found in you is sufficient. The narrowing pipe is about to open into the wider space. The pressure that has been building is about to become the force that launches you forward. The examination is drawing to its close. And the person who walks out of this testing season is not the same person who walked in. They are more precise, more discerning, more trustworthy, and more capable of handling what is coming without being consumed by it. That is you. That has always been you. The test did not create that person. The test revealed them. Like this video right now as your declaration that you accept the mantle of kingdom treasurer, that you are not just a person who wants financial blessing, but a person who is committed to being worthy of it, faithful with it, and purposeful in how it flows through your hands into the world. Subscribe to Chosen Wealth Wisdom so that every level of financial instruction, every prophetic activation, and every strategic word released in this season reaches you the moment it is available. This channel exists to equip chosen ones with the Bina that produces stewardship and the stewardship that produces legacy. Drop a comment right now and tell me which of the 5 tests you recognized most clearly in your own life over the last 3 days. I am reading every single one. I am praying over every name. The Bina is active. The stewardship is proven. The harvest is confirmed. And heaven is applauding. Well done, chosen one. Well done.